How do you do, guys? So, I have here on my table a build which DeAgostini, a monthly subscription company, has kindly sent me to build on the channel. And it's one of the latest series of monthly subscriptions that they do. They do a whole range of models to build up each month. You buy like the weekly subscription, and every month you receive a package with so many assembly parts. In the past, they've done various models such as like other Mustangs. I believe they've done like Mercedes, Lamborghinis, usually in like 8 scale. And this one being their latest release, which is a 1/6 scale, which is going to be an absolute monster of a build. Ford Shelby Mustang, the GT500. Now here I have the first assembly parts. Now if you take this order out, the links are in the description down below to DeAgostini, where you can get your own subscription and receive your own packs each month to build up this monster of a car. And these are the first 2 assembly stages. So I'm going to do this monthly, or as the packages come in, as I receive the assembly stages, I'll do a video, but I should be receiving those monthly. Now in the first assembly package, I've received, I think this was the first one, which was the bumper. So this would be part 1, part 2, and you get the bumper and the fog lights and stuff to construct there. And in the second part we have a wheel, the tyre, the inner wheel and stuff like that. And these parts alone are heavy. They are like die cast metal. So once this is fully built as a 6 scale Mustang, the thing is going to be huge. Absolutely huge. The width of the bumper alone is approximately like 27 centimeters, just under 11" there. So I'm presuming that ain't gonna count for the whole width of the car, because once you get the car you're gonna have the arches on the wings and stuff, which is gonna build this thing out a lot wider. And being American muscle, they kind of do go wider to the rear. The tyre diameter, we're 11 centimeters there on the tyre diameter, almost 4.5". This is gonna be a monster and an absolute weight. So I am really looking forward to constructing this. And like I say, if you want to build along and you have a subscription, feel free to do so. And if you're interested in taking out one of these subscriptions, like I say, the link is down below in the description. So in my first package, I've received these, and they do come with step-by-step build manuals. And apparently all we're going to need to build this is the screwdriver within the pack. But yeah, as I was saying, you receive in the first package, you get a bit of bump on the car, a little bit about the subscription and stuff like that, and details on the car. And also you will get some free gifts along the way in the subscription. So I will be receiving like some posters, a binder so I can put all the magazines in to keep them all nicely neat and organised. I'll get a Shelby cup, and also a couple of 1/43 scale miniatures of the Mustang, also in a couple of various colours there. And if you go for a premium offer, you will receive the huge display case at some point within the series to display your model once it's finished. Now, I'm really looking forward to this. It's something different. My channel's mainly been like trucks, but I am starting to introduce model cars and things like that. So this is just going to be an amazing thing to build. But yeah, this eventually, once built, will be on like a remote system. So there is electronics in there to like control the lights. It has opening doors and windows. Your steering wheel, if you turn that, that'll turn the wheels. Headlights, brake lights, turn signals, horn, all that, all off the remote. So it's just going to be an amazing scale piece of kit. Now, your first package on these, I think they range from something like $1.95 for your first assembly parts, and then they're about $11.99 per assembly stage thereafter that. So they can be expensive, but as they're monthly, you can just buy it little by little as you go along. And if we open this up, I do have a huge poster there of the car itself. Now, this ain't even a scale image or a full-size image of what the car will look like. The model car is going to be bigger than this, clearly, looking at the tyres. So this poster, it's just going to give you an idea on the size. I mean, the car is genuinely going to be bigger than what it is on the poster, and this is a big poster. So you get that in there also. And altogether, to build this and complete the build, there is going to be 130 issues. Now that doesn't mean there's going to be 130 videos, as I believe in my next package, which is currently on the way, there are 3 assembly stages in that, and thereafter that I think you get 4 or 5 assembly stages each month. So this build's going to be done like over 25 videos or something like that over the next course of however long it takes me to receive all the parts to complete this build. But it's going to be nice to build it up. It's going to be frustrating waiting for other parts to come, because I'm just going to want to see the final piece at the end of it, and I'm sure a lot of you will too. But this is the joys, and at the end of it we get to see this fantastic work of art by DeAgostini. Like I said, they do other things out there, and everything I've seen in the past is just out of this world. So this is going to be like in the green and the white, as we've seen in the poster. And each assembly stage does come with its own magazine. And these are interesting. I've already had a look at these. And you get a bit of like history on the car itself, which I found interesting. And then you have the manual and your steps on how to construct all the little bits and bobs to put it together. More about the Mustang and things like that, and just interesting bits of reading if you like your reading. And then in the second one there's like more bits of history, various Mustangs and things like that, going into more assembly stages on how to assemble, like a bit of a build manual. And you can also get the build manuals online and stuff like that. And then the bits that I found interesting is it goes into some history about NASCAR and how Ford came about in NASCAR and stuff, and I found that interesting, being a NASCAR fan here in the UK. So enough to keep you entertained until the next parts come in the mail. We're going to do this in order. So they are marked on the packaging here at the back, FM001, and that is FM002. So to build it up in the order of the assembly stages, we shall be starting with this mammoth of a front bumper. So first things first, get this out of its packaging. There we go. So I will just keep things, I think that's going to be like a fog light cover. So I am just going to keep things on like a left and right sort of order. They come with little bits of hardware to put it together. And like I say, they provide you with the tool to build this. And that is all you need, is this little cross head screwdriver. And one registration plate, which is pretty big registration plate. And then this is just the front bumper. And it weighs quite a lot. That is a heavy weight, a real heavy weight. So I'm just gonna lay down a bit of foam padding on the table, and we're not scratching or marking this, just like beautiful bit of craftsmanship, to be honest with you. This is just amazing. So we have step 1 of 1. Yeah, everything's marked. Like that has a little R on there, and these will have your L on there. So, looking at the image, because it's this way around, I am presuming this side's going to be L, and this side's going to be your right side. I've never built one of these before, but I'm sure looking forward to building this. So, the first thing is saying this, which is just going to drop into here. Now there is a notch on the top of there, which is going to sit into that notch in there, like so. And it's going to be the same for the other side. I just line up the notch. There we go. Then we have the little light lenses. These also have tiny little notches on them, and there is a little notch cut out on the back here, so that's just going to sit in there like so, and then we'll repeat that for the other side. Now I am just going off one side in the manual because the other side for the next steps is exactly the same, but we're just repeating it on the opposite side. So again, another light lens with the notch. There we go. And then this is just going to be the back of the light housing. It's just going to sit over there. And then what screws does it want us to use to put these in? Is it going to be these ones or these ones? So they're DS13, these are DS01. Right, so everything's labelled, and even in the manual it tells you all like part numbers, and they're all on the step guide. So should be a relatively simple build. So these are going to get screwed in using these little silver ones. Okie dokie. So there we have one light housing in, one little fog light, and now we're just going to repeat that again on this side, on the one that just fell out. It's a shame to be getting this all covered in fingerprints, but I will go over this with some car polish when it's all finished and put together, and we can give it a good polish back up, keeping that nice green shine to it. So that stage done, and onto the registration plate. It's going to be these couple of little screws in there, some spares. I have just run the end of the screwdriver onto a magnet just so it magnetizes it, and then we can hold the screws on there. that is assembly stage number 1 complete. And like I say, the magazines, you get some interesting bits of information in there, so you can read along as you're building. So we're just going to pop this on there for now. And now to open the second assembly stage. Wow, I never noticed that. Let's just fish this out. The wheel comes with its own tyre valve. So that's some serious, like, scaled detail there. We have what I would presume is the wheel centre cap. Little Shelby Cobra on there. Oh, there is some weight in this piece, which will be the outer rim. And then that's heavy as well, which will be the centre part of the rim. I suppose this is kind of like making beadlock wheels. We have a couple of little clips there for these go inside the tyre, so these clips will clip them together, and they are just hollowed out plastic. They're not a foam or anything, probably because your tyres will end up crushing once all this massive weight is on top. But there you can see you get a nice Goodyear Speedway tyre. Very, very big wheel. Amazing. And another part to the centre cap, which have the wheel nuts on there. Let's take magazine number 2. Let's find the assembly stage. Again, there's a picture with your contents. So first things first is we're going to be putting the plastic into this humongous tyre. So somehow trying to tuck these into here. Okay. It's a little bit fiddlier than it looks, but you could just stretch that over there. And the second one. Okay, so how the heck do we get these in here? Wow. Probably would have been easier if there was foam, but like I said, once you've got the weight of the car on, even with foams, it's just going to look like it's got flat tyres. So it just tells you to insert them. They don't just quite easily insert though, do they? Does say you can soak the tyre in warm water, which probably help them stretch a bit. Maybe try this way, maybe. Oh, if we went lifted one side, lift up the other side. I wonder if we could. Oh. Yeah, that's. Oh, I don't want to tear the tyre. Oh, we're in. We're in. Oh. There we go. We are in. Now we have these little clips, and if you look inside the wheel and tyre there, I believe these are, looking at the manual, they're just gonna fit and lock in there. And same on the other side of the inside of the tyre. Turning the page and moving on to the wheel itself. Now insert the tyre valve. So that's showing the rear of the wheel. Just take this off, this little bit of sticky there. That's just going to push into place like so. And then we have a tyre valve. And then still with this part of the wheel and the centre nuts. Just wondering if there's a little notch or anything there. Yep, we have a notch on the wheel and a little groove cut out on there. So it's just going to sit over there like so, and that just pushes into place, and then that gives the effect of the wheel nuts. One of the rim inserts, there is a couple of little notches on there, and looking at the manual it does outline the notches, and the notches are to sit in between the clips, which also have little grooves cut out on them to seat the notches into. So this manual is a pretty nice manual, describes everything as it should be doing, so you can't really go wrong. So now we have that in, it's a case of popping the wheel in. Again, the two notches at either side, so they're gonna go within the notches on that clip again. Or is this a specific way around so the mounting holes line up? Here, there we go. And then from the rear, I'm just going to screw up the wheels. And again, you get a spare nut. I presume that's just in case one happens to go missing, as things do every now and again, or you maybe strip out the head. I'm just going to get all these in place to start with, and then we can go around and tighten them all up. Just squeezing them together a little. Now those are in place, we can tighten them all up. Now, I know I said I was going to use the screwdriver provided to build this kit. However, getting these to clamp up is a little bit difficult with this. So I am actually using a flathead to get within the crosshead, because I can get a bit more leverage to tighten these up. So I would recommend, if you had a small flathead and you're building one of these, as you're not really going to have much success with that and clamping these wheels together, no matter how hard you squeeze them together either. They are a tight fit, and you are going to risk maybe stripping out the heads or wearing out the screwdriver. So that is now the wheel all clamped up nice and tight together, no stripped heads. And for the final piece of this assembly is gonna be sitting that in there. However, in the manual for the wheel cap, the center cap, it does say to use this at a later stage. Now the reason being for this is if you just put that in there and then you put your wheels aside somewhere, chances fall out and you're going to end up losing it. And the reason behind this is, if you look in the back there, once your wheel is bolted on with a nut to the actual chassis of the car, that's then just going to stick to the car, because inside there is a magnet to hold that in place. So we are going to pop that to one side as recommended. Then we're not losing like the finishing touches, because as I say, once that's bolted onto the chassis or the wheel hub or what have you, there is going to be a screw or a thread nut or some other piece of metal through there that's just going to stick to, using the magnet on the back, and that will prevent you from losing it. Once your wheel is assembled, you can then go on and read a little bit of history about some NASCAR, which I've already read these and they're just super interested, especially going on about Bill Elliott here. He was actually one of my favourite drivers back in the 90s. I used to live in the States and I was a huge NASCAR fan, and Bill Elliott at the time was one of my favourite drivers. I've actually sat in his car at a McDonald's. I remember my mum taking me to Daytona 500 in Florida, and we got lost, or should I say my mum got lost, and you could hear the engines going around the track and we couldn't get near, and we ended up setting off to try and find, just following the noise, and we were just getting diverted round and round and round in circles, and by the time we got there the race was nearly over after listening to it from miles away, just driving round. But fortunately, Bill Elliott's team come rolling his McDonald's NASCAR, as it were back then, out into the McDonald's car park, because that was their sponsor. My mum explained to the team what had just happened, and they kindly lifted me over the barriers and let me sit in the car for photographs, which it was just there to look at. It wasn't there to sit in, but that kind of made up for it. That was in February 1996. My mum took me there for my 12th birthday, it would have been. I think it was, my birthday is the 15th of Feb, and I remember that being, I think it was the 18th of February 1996. Amazing times. But that, guys, is assembly stage number 1. Look at the size of it. I mean the weight as well. This is just going to be amazing. I really can't wait for the next assembly stages to come rolling through the door now, and then I have to wait a month thereafter for each lots of assembly stages. But that's the joys, and that's what's going to keep it interesting, and you're always going to have something to look forward to for the next, God knows however long, as long as the subscription's running for. But yeah, like I say, if you are interested in one of these, head to the links in the description down below and get yourself one. And there is the wheel and the tyre. So I am gonna just pop this to one side as recommended, then we don't lose that. And that is assembly part number 2. So I hope you all enjoyed that. If you're new to the channel because you're taking interest in the Mustang car and the DeAgostini subscription, maybe you build these yourselves, do feel free to subscribe to the channel, because there's going to be more of this coming, along with other models that I build and the radio control trucks and stuff, if that's your thing. But yeah, hit that subscription button, ring that notification bell, then you can keep notified for when these videos come in. If you're already a subscriber, I hope you enjoyed watching something different to the channel. Like I say, this is going to be one hell of a monster once complete, and it's going to be a nice journey. I can take you along each month as the assembly stage is rolling, and I can build this up with you guys so you can all see this just, well, from this, what I know is going to be one amazing work of art, piece of kit. What am I going to do with it afterwards? I don't know, because of the size, the sheer size. I'm surrounded with radio controlled trucks and crawlers and everything else, and the size of this thing is just, yeah, it's going to be amazing. Big massive thanks to DeAgostini for sending me this and letting me build this on the channel. I really do appreciate that, and I hope you'd like to work with me on some more stuff and send me some more products to build so I can show the viewers some of your more fantastic products that you have to offer. But for now, that is all for this one. It's definitely been interesting from what I usually build. And like I say, I'm just genuinely looking forward to the rest of it rolling in. So, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, drop me a comment, because I do try and reply to all of you, because without you, it wouldn't really be worth me doing any of this. And I shall catch you all in the next video, guys. Ciao for now. Damn, this thing is huge. Ugh. I might just go off and read these again. Very interesting. Ciao.